Hello and welcome, guys. You are gaming with me, Brothgar, and as you guys may have seen here from some of the live streams that have been happening on the channel, I recently got into Xbox One gaming and I ended up picking up the Taken King Destiny. So I ended up getting the game, the DLC, and the Taken King, which is going to be coming out, well, today, as of when this video is going to be posted. I recently got into Destiny for about the last 2 weeks or so. So, how's my experience been? Well, initially, right off at the very beginning of the game, I got to admit, the game was actually quite awesome. What had happened, though, is I had logged into the game and I immediately ran into somebody who had been playing the game from beta. And they ended up just kind of like stalking me a little bit, ended up inviting me to a chat system, and I got to know the guy a little bit here, and that was pretty cool. His name was Master Cheese. So I ended up spending the entire evening just kind of talking with this guy, playing through some of the early content, and he was more or less explaining the entire game to me. And as a person who has played multiple MMOs before, I always remember those experiences when somebody comes in that has been really experienced and helps you out at the very beginning of the game. I always find that as a really awesome thing and a really good kind of gracious thing that the community can do for new players. And I'm not so sure that really happens all the time, or if I just ended up getting lucky to run into Master Cheese, but I ended up kind of making a little bit of a friend right there at the beginning of the game. And all in all, as my full experience has gone here with the Destiny game, I got to admit, the game itself, played by itself, just like all solo, is, you know, it's okay. I'll be honest, it's really just okay. There isn't a whole lot of depth to it, and I gotta admit the whole amount of content you would get for the original game isn't that much either. So I gotta admit, if you're gonna buy into the game, get the Taken King edition, because then you're at least getting some decent content out of it. However, the one thing that I've noticed with the game is that the community behind it seems to be really quite awesome. Every time I've jumped online or been talking to somebody that has also got their voice comes on, they've always been genuinely pretty awesome people. I haven't really found anybody that's negative or, you know, a bunch of squeakers or really pissed off people for no good reason. It seems like everybody's kind of working together for their own sake, you know? And I think that's one thing that this game really has going for it, is the fact that everything you do, you're just kind of doing for yourself, and you're in it to help each other out. So, I mean, there's no like shared loot or anything. So I think that has gone a long way to really make this game well. However, let's talk about my progression in the game. I've actually, in the last 2 weeks, have reached the maximum level of 34, which is going to be changed by today. I believe it's going to go up to 40, but leveling up in this game didn't take very long at all. I gotta admit, the XP just flew by, and the fact that you can do story missions and different little like missions and XP, to be honest, XP is easy to come by. However, one thing I have noticed is once I reached maximum level, gear is not so easy to come by, and gear is basically almost more important than levels, to be honest. However, having noob gear aside, I was able to take in some of the awesome content that was available that would be more endgame-ish. I was also able to kind of venture off into some of the other stuff, like the Wolves expansion and the Dark Below expansion. I was able to finish that one with the exception of not being able to do the raid, just because you need like some serious gear before you can do the raid stuff. Plus, you gotta know people, and I don't know anybody in the game except for like 2 people. The 802 kid is somebody that's been helping me out a lot. You saw him in the live stream. Awesome guy as well. And certain people like that can kind of help you get some gear. But I feel like the hard thing is that if you're just solo in this game, it kind of felt like it was a really tough battle just to kind of get some decent gear. Besides having to kind of grind for some sort of, well, I don't know, some sort of like token thingies that you can turn into some vendor dude who gives you super legendary gear, right? So it takes a long time to get something like that, especially if you don't have a lot to start with. So, I don't know, it's been one of those things where the game has kind of felt like it was forcing you into a grind, but then as you kind of learn about it and you kind of dig into the community and what people have come together to kind of say, well, this is the best way forward, again, it really goes back to the community making the game better. Now, not having great gear has made things kind of difficult for the first 2 weeks. However, I was able to jump into the Crucible, and now I'm kind of working on a full set of 24 kind of rare gear. So it isn't that great, but you know what? It's working for me. And one big benefit is that one of the things that you get with the Taken King kind of expansion, there's some donor guns that you can kind of lend out from the gun guy. And those things have been an absolute blessing to me, because I actually have an extra 50 damage on top of whatever gun I had. So So I was using those like crazy just to actually be kind of useful to them. But with that in mind, though, I've actually gotten into the Strike Force things, and I've actually taken down some, I don't know what the, Omnigul, I don't know, some screaming chick who's just absolutely annoying in the fight. That boss fight is absolutely annoying in my opinion, just because, I don't know, it's like a Zerg fest and you're just trying to survive the entire time. Bunch of wizards and blowing stuff up. At any rate, though, I was able to take out Omnigul, and he was actually able to take him out on a little bit harder difficulty, which is, I think, the level 30 difficulty as opposed to 26. The other biggest challenge that I was ended up facing in the first 2 weeks here was the, I think it was the Wolf of Dens expansion and some sort of prison. And then that's a challenge where you go through 5 different series to actually take that out, and then you're left in this room like full of gold and special loot, except for you need some sort of special key to open up the big chest at the end. I don't know what that's all about, but it seemed kind of disappointing by the time I got there and didn't have a key. But alright, I got some decent stuff anyhow. However, that sort of PvE aspect to it and all the different strike forces, it's actually pretty interesting. At the same time, they do get repetitive, and I can see where it really kind of get quite annoying after a long time. However, if you get better at it, you can do it at harder difficulties. But again, that same thing, just like it is in Warframe, if you've played that game before, having friends in the game to do things together is what's going to make this game really quite good. So I'm glad that I got the Taken King expansion. I'm glad that I waited this long to actually get into Destiny, because I feel like the amount of content that's kind of there, if you kind of paid into it already, isn't a whole lot. I mean, it just doesn't feel like a whole lot. And the other thing is, you gotta make some friends to make this game good. However, it looks like with the Taken King, there's going to be a lot more content. I feel like I'm getting a good deal for 60 bucks. So that's pretty cool. And I'm also making friends. And the more I live stream, the better that's all going to turn out. So I've had quite a bit of fun here with Destiny, kicking that game off and exploring what it has to offer. And hopefully you guys are looking forward to seeing a little bit more content on it, because, you know what? I'm enjoying it, so that means I'm probably going to upload it. At any rate, guys, I hope you guys have an awesome day. I will see you guys later. I'll probably be kicking off some more of this new expansion stuff as we all explore the new content that's going to be coming out here. So there you have it, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed this, and I will see you around. Stay awesome, guys. Peace. Brothgar out.
What is going on? Oh! What? Come on! Oh yeah! How you like that, son? Bringing it down from the heavens! Gonna blow up your face! Come on, buddy! Come on, let's go golfing! Oh no! He sees me! Oh no, he don't! No! Ah! Yeah! Oh! Oh, everybody, hold on to your butt! Here we go! Come on! Get in! Get in!